a fantastic single shack hung out in the middle of a lake location. And my getaway vacation location has done really well. Okay, it's not really doing that well. I would like my business to do better. In fact, what I've decided to do is I need a website to talk about my fantastic getaway shack in the middle of a lake. Okay? What do I want my website to do? I need a website that's going to show my current deals on my shack in the middle of the lake. I want visitors to be able to book hotel stays and special packages on my shack in the middle of the lake. And I want people to be able to pay for their bookings online. I also want to be able to offer a luxury service that includes travel to and from my hotel, and perhaps even a boat tour from the shack that's in the middle of the lake. Got it? That make sense? Yeah. Are you guys software developers? Cool. So you're going to make this for me, right? Getaway Vacations is going to be a massive worldwide success. Our shack in the middle of the lake is going to be booked every single day of the year because of your software, right? Yes. There's only one answer to that question. The answer is what? Yes. Thank you. Okay, so what are the requirements?
Well, one has to show, what was it? The deals? The deals, there it is.
Deals. Okay, that's one. I got one over here.
Tour.
Tours. And you can book tours from the shack. What else?
Yeah, to be able to pay online.
Pay online. What was another one up here? Okay, well good, you get double credit for it, okay.
Specialty packages.
Specialty packages, cool. What else?
Luxury service.
Luxury service. Yeah, okay. I heard shuttle like transportation back and forth.
The description of the location.
Well, it seems like that'd be a good thing if you're going to do a website, right?
Images of the location, like surrounding location and
So it
sign.
looks like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean more than just that.
Oh,
Like,
okay, images of
so
something
like,
else.
Like if we're taking them on a boat tour, we want to show
That's
them
true.
like
We
where
gotta
we're going to.
make it look a little interesting. Anything else?
Book online.
Book online, exactly. Because it's a website, right? I mean, as long as you're seeing it and going, wow, I'd really like to go to that shack in the middle of the lake, you should be able to reserve it and make it, because it's going to be pretty busy. There's going to be a lot of people taking it, right? Anything else? Okay. Well, show current deals, right? On the shack in the middle of the lake. Okay, that's good. So the website will show current deals to getaway vacation potential customers. Book packages, what we said, right? You should be able to reserve the shack online. That makes sense. Okay. Arrange travel, how they get to and away from my shack in the middle of the lake. Book a room, should be able to book a hotel room, book packages, and to be able to pay for their bookings online. That'll be a critical thing. And be able to book one of those boat tours, right? Hey, as long as you're there. If you get bored hanging out in the shack in the middle of the lake, maybe you'd like to go on a boat tour and go see stuff. Cool, so we got what, maybe about 6 basic high-level requirements for what we're trying to do here. Okay, so we've got to start, right? Yeah, cool. You need more information. So that was good. What have I not told you?
How you like it designed?
What was that, like look and feel? Yeah, I grant you. I mean, I think there's some bigger questions from that. You are correct. I haven't told you anything, what colors I want, what kind of fonts and stuff like that. Grant you, yes. But there's probably larger questions than that, sir.
Like how much the rates are?
That's true. That's more just loading data in. You're right. I haven't told you anything about pricing or availability or anything like that. And you are correct on that. But that is simply just actually giving you, there's probably, once again, some higher level questions, sir.
Oh, the deadline you have to make it.
Well, that's true, right? Because we talked about that last time. And also, I guess there's another question that goes along with deadline. What would that be? How much I'm going to pay you? You think you're going to get paid, right? Yes, but you're exactly right. So deadline and cost would be important things for us to discuss in the back.
The name of the website?
Yeah, once again, you can drop that in, whatever. That's interesting, but it's probably not that important when you're designing a website for my getaway vacation site, sir.
What about prioritizing customers?
Prioritize. So all customers are not created equal.
Well, just if there's only one room and multiple people want the same room, how do
You
you?
all want the same room, right? Yeah. Well, you bring up a good point, because in theory, if somebody comes and stays and has a good time, and then decides to come back, I would want to maybe give them priority, because they're a returning. You'd have like a gold club for the shack, with the lake type of deal. Anything else? Any other requirements that we haven't covered?
They're paying online, how does that actually work?
Excellent. Well, you bring up a good point, because if you're going to pay online, how are you going to pay, right? So what are our options for paying online these days? Come on, get trendy. PayPal, definitely. What else?
Google Wallet transactions.
Google Wallet, I like that. What else? Bitcoin, excellent. Very trendy, very trendy. Or Litecoin, or whatever coin. Okay. What else? I mean, there's a fundamental one. I should be able to use my credit card, and I guess in the same package it would be debit card, right? Yeah, it's sort of the same thing, but you know, whatever, if you have to do something special on that. Cool, all right. So let's see what we got here. Well, here's an interesting thing. We should ask how many different sorts of hotel rooms, right? Now we saw the shack, right? Could you divide the shack up into multiple rooms?
Maybe.
You could put a bunk bed in there, right? That could be actually 2 separate rooms. We're not talking, I don't know kids. All right. Should the software print out receipts or monthly reports? Well, that's an interesting point, right? Because you know you are trying to keep track of what's going on at the hotel. Some sort of reporting tool, something. Okay? Should the software allow reservations to be canceled or changed? Now that's a big one, right? Hey, great, I'm going to be there on Wednesday. Oops, I can't. Can I do that online, or do I have to call you, or how am I actually going to do that? Okay. Is there a special interface for my employees so they can go into the system and create special things like packages or new types of hotel rooms, or you got a brand new bunk bed, woohoo! Okay, yeah. You're sleeping on the top bunk, it's the best, okay, whatever. Or deals or stuff like that, right? So of course there'll be the public website side to it, but is there going to be a back end to it that my staff can go in and do stuff, right? And that's an additional chunk of programming for you guys. And then finally, do I have to hook it into any other systems? And I can think of one right off the bat. If you're going to be able to pay online, it means what? I'm going to have to be able to talk to the credit card companies, right? So you type in your credit card number and all the expiration date and stuff like that. The very first thing I have to do is make sure that that's a legit credit card number, right? Before I accept your reservation, right? So there's some sort of back and forth stuff that has to go. I have to get authorization from Visa or MasterCard, and then I have to say how much are you going to do, and then I have to tell them, hey, it's a $200 charge, and they say, fantastic, we'll give you $200 minus whatever our service fee. So there's a back and forth that's going to have to go there. Perhaps there's some other stuff, right? Maybe I'm booking into travel agents, right? So if they book the package, it gets sent to me, and I say, cool, you've got a reservation, not a problem, whatsoever. So a few other things. Remember, on top of all this stuff, there's the stuff that you guys talked about, right? Look and feel, name of the website, of course, and things like that. No questions about that. These are probably a little bit more core to how that thing's actually going to behave. Okay, so how do you actually talk with your customer to get more information about getaway vacation stuff? Well, when you're talking with an existing customer, the challenge, of course, is that you don't know what you don't know, and arguably, they don't know what they don't know. Right? So as a developer, when you sit down and talk with the customer, you do have a set of requirements that they've given you. Yay. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to talk about those requirements with your customer. Now what you're going to want to do is use those discussions to find out more about additional requirements. So if I know you want to pay online, I'd like you to be able to pay online, then what I do is I use that conversation to go into exactly what's that going to look like. Bitcoin, PayPal, Visa and MasterCard. Should I also support, for example, Discover Card? A big one in credit cards is American Express. American Express is a really expensive credit card for a vendor to use. If I don't have to do it, then life is a little bit simpler. Visa and MasterCard sort of live together. If I do one, I got the other one taken care of and stuff like that. But those are good questions to ask your customer, right? And the key thing is if you start with the requirements they've given you, and then you branch out into the ones that they haven't even thought of. But it's your responsibility to have that discussion with your customer. Okay? And that's what you want to do. That's how you get your customer to tell you the things that they don't know. You have that discussion with them about their existing requirements, and that leads to other things. Okay. There's a concept called blue sky. Once again, remember at the start of a software development project, your customer has a set of requirements that they've given you, but obviously they haven't thought of everything. They thought about as much as they possibly can, but they haven't thought of everything that they possibly can. So what you need to do is you need to sit down with them, you need to think big, you need to use as many people as you possibly can. You got to sit down with the customer, you got to say, hey, great, we've got your requirements, let's think this through. Let's see if we can come up with other requirements that you've not yet thought of. Okay? There are no bad ideas when you're doing this. You're going to hear some crazy stuff, right? You're going to be like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. But shut up, okay? Okay, it's a stupid idea, but write it down, keep it on the list, and who knows, sometimes stupid ideas turn into good ideas, or they lead to good ideas later on. Wild ideas are okay, but you do want to stay focused on specifically what the customer wants you to do. Okay? Blue sky is just thinking off the top of your head, trying to imagine everything. So, we've got our getaway vacation problem. Let's say that the customer's in the room with you. You have the 6 requirements, you have the basic requirements that you have. Now start thinking, what else should the customer have thought?
Mobile optimization.
Excellent. Okay, so support for mobile devices, right? To be able to do what on a mobile device?
Well, instead of just running the desktop program, which might be very slow, have a cut down smaller version that is better for multiple small screens.
What should the person who's a mobile operator, who's probably accessing it over their phone or something like that, what should they be able to do on their phone? See it, number one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. But what else should I be able to book a reservation? Should I be able to pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was,
Same thing? Okay, cool. All right, so mobile support. Anything else? Blue sky, come on, just off the top of your head. You got this shack in the middle of the lake, and you want to have a website for it that's going to cause people to come and make reservations to stay in your shack in the lake.
Support,
Support. So support for the website?
like almost like customer support where like a chat, I guess maybe.
Exactly. You know, hey, help us. Okay. So you got bunk beds, but you have like 2 bunk beds or 4 bunk beds. Oh yeah, so somewhere together. I think that's a great idea. So some sort of contact number, or maybe even an online chat type of thing, right?
Like Google Maps or something to show cool stuff around it.
Where it is, other local things.
Branching out from both of those, a photosphere like inside the thing to show what the room actually looks like.
That might not be such a good idea, but yeah, I understand. Basically, the idea is a very good idea. You're right. Yeah, so show that and the surrounding, the beautiful campground, or maybe the lake itself, the fish floating on the surface, and stuff like that. That would be cool. Yeah, that's a great one, right? So somebody's already staying there. You can't stay there because they're, well, unless you want to sit on the lower bunk, right? But yeah, basically, it will be booked at times. Those are no longer available. So show them the available times. So if they want to come in that time, they can do the booking on that. And I guess when they make the reservation, then that time is taken off the list, right? Okay, that'd be great. What else?
Do you have like a list of hours when you're open, so that they can call?
I guess you're right. Yeah, I'm not going to do that the whole time. I've got other stuff going on. I can't be managing my shack in the middle of the time the entire time, right? So yeah, so basically office hours, homes, right? Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. So contact information, maybe my email address too. Anything else? Blue sky, blue sky. We're thinking about this. Back room.
Stuff about like renting kayaks or fishing equipment.
So we talked about boat tours and stuff like that, but we didn't get into a lot of detail, right? So it seems like it'd be a good idea to provide some additional information on exactly what's available, right? Now, there's another interesting tag off of that, that maybe things change seasonally, right? If that lake freezes,
You can do it.
you can do a lot of things, but you're not renting a boat, right? You know, you're renting skates or something that has skis on it or something like that, right? Yeah, okay, so there could be seasonal changes that go on. Okay, what else? Oh, we got
Social media. Like
Social
Facebook, Facebook, Instagram.
fantastic, yeah, because if I have people who come and have a really good time and then tweet or talk or post their own pictures or something like that, heck yeah, I want to be able to tag you into that so you go, wow, this is the place to go, right?
Be really good.
Excellent, that's a great idea. Blue sky, blue sky.
What about room service?
Room service, I think that's fantastic. You're kicking back in the lodge in the middle of the lake and you go, wow, I'd really like to have a burger or something like that. You know, what's available, right?
Like you could go onto map on the website through the mobile device and order online and have it sent to the system.
Right, brought right out to you. You're tracking the middle of all that. Yes, exactly, that right. Anything else from that?
But then you do with it, and then you like, is there a pool, which are, lakes not yet?
No, lake.
Wi-Fi, stuff like that, running water.
Wi-Fi would be really important, right? Yeah, you know, come on. It's not like rural or anything like that. Okay. All right, blue sky. Anything else? Other things that you need for a website to support this fantastic getaway location?
maybe like forums,
Where people can talk. Okay, talk about how great it was or what they're looking for, stuff like that. Yeah. No complaints though. Damn it, I delete those.
How about events that are going on in the nearby area?
Right, okay, so jousting tournaments or whatever that happens to go on. In fact,
We could have something about the weather in case you want to take a boat tour, but perhaps it rains out on you. So
That's
you
right.
can plan a better schedule.
we could doctor it up and make it look like every single day is perfect, right? Whatever. It's like, yeah, but no, we're right. Local weather, local conditions and stuff like that, that'd probably be pretty good. I guess we could also do like traffic or something like that, depending whether or not it's hard to get there or something along those lines. That would be fantastic.
How many ads they want on the website?
Oh, ads. That's an interesting one. And yeah, so, you know, yeah. I'm not sure if I want to distract from the beauty of my website, you know, but you're right, it's always possible. Maybe it's ads for me, right? I'm advertising my other packages that I'm offering.
branch off that a little bit and have, a way to book a flight to it.
There you go. Exactly. Hey, you can decide you want to go. Right.
Not only book the flight, but you would have an ad flight.
That'll work. Okay.
Do you have partners or people that have similar types of businesses that you don't mind advertising as well?
It could be the boat company, right? Yeah, exactly right. Anybody who's doing anything sort of, or swimming lessons, or something like that. Okay, cool. What did I go on with? Pay with credit card and PayPal. Okay, we sort of talked about that one. The ability to write a review of your stay, which is sort of that social media sort of tag that we had there. Order a DVD of your stay. Had such a good time. Let's go ahead and capture it. Stuff like that. Room service, fantastic. I think that's actually very good. Use a MySQL. Use MySQL database. Stop. Are there any bad ideas?
No.
There's no bad idea. Okay, and choose your room view. So part of the bunk bed's on this side of the hall. You got a 50-50 chance of which one you get. Okay, all right. So the MySQL database, fantastic, it's wonderful, it's probably a really great idea and stuff like that, but it's not really part of our user requirements, right? We won't throw it away, we're just going to push it off to the side. It's something that we can keep in the back burner, and we actually go to do a design, perhaps we revisit that one. All right, so additional blue sky requirements. So let's take what we have here and turn them into actual requirements. So pay with Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. So basically, a user apparently will be able to pay for their bookings on either a credit card or PayPal. Our DVD means you're able to capture a DVD for your highlights of your trip. Review your stay. You can leave a review of their time at the hotel. It better be a damn good review, because otherwise I'm going to delete it. Okay, room service. Specify which, that's an interesting one. Specify which meals you want to have. So maybe you specify room service before you even show up. Because we're going to have to, like, cook it, I guess. Bring it up here or something. All right, whatever. Okay, choose a view. What type of view you'd like to have from your room. So there we go. So we've got additional requirements. All right, so we're starting to flesh this out. Remember where we started, with just like 6 little requirements that the customer handed you. But now you've done some blue skying, you've had some talks with them, you've come up with a lot more information. I'm not saying it's a complete list, but you certainly have a lot more information than you had originally. Congratulations. You're really starting to get your hands around these requirements. Oh, and more. Oh, here's another one. So how many people are going to be visiting the website? A lot of people. So no matter what you do, you have to design a website that's going to be able to stand up to a lot of people coming, right? Okay. What makes a good requirement? That's a good question. All right, so here. Requirements need to be written from the customer's perspective, not from yours. You bright, smart software developers, shut up. Right? You really need to write requirements in the customer's language. It's almost as though the customer wrote the requirement themselves, right? Using their language, not using your language, right? Okay? If the customer does not understand the requirements, then you've got yourself a problem, right? Implement website using MySQL database. Boop, boop, red flag, right? Customer's got no freaking clue what that is, okay? So you would never want to have a requirement like that. It needs to be in the customer's language. When you write requirements using the customer's language, we've got a really cool term for this. We consider them to be users' stories. Hey, everybody likes stories, right? How does the story start? Once upon a time. Every single requirement. Once upon. Okay, you don't have to put that. You have to think it, right? Okay. Tells how users would interact with the software that you're going to create. Got it? User stories. Okay, so what are user stories? Here, a user story describes one thing. This is not a big paragraph. This is not War and Peace. The website will allow people to log on and they'll be able to book things, and then they can get like boats, and then they can pick which room they want, and they can do room service, and they can get a TV. Stop! No! User story talks about one thing. I'm going to be able to pay with MasterCard, Visa, or PayPal. Or actually, probably, I'm going to be able to pay with MasterCard or Visa. Done. PayPal will be a separate. Okay? Should be written in a language that the customer will understand. Should be written by the customer, really not you. Okay? Should be short. 3 sentences max. Once again, we don't want to get real long on these things, right? Trying to keep it very concise. You will have a lot of requirements, right? Because you're keeping it short, right? But that's a good thing. More requirements gives you more granularity. Makes it easier for you to estimate how long it's going to take to implement that particular requirement. It also gives your customer a chance to prioritize them. So you get a better feel for what's really important to your customer. Okay, good user stories are not long, filled with technical terms or talking about specific technologies that nobody knows anything about, right? Use jQuery to, no, stop. User story is written from the customer's perspective. Both you and your customer should understand what the story is trying to tell you. So it has to have a princess and a dragon and a, no, it doesn't actually have to have that. But you get the gist of it, right? So it has to be very clear, has to be very short, has to be very concise. It's a specific requirement. It is a user story. Got it? When can you stop with all the silly requirement stuff? It takes a couple go-rounds actually to get it right. Okay? When you're out of questions, you're getting close. Okay? When your customer is happy, you're getting closer. When your user stories capture everything that your customer needs your software to do, for now. Is your customer going to change their mind?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Is that going to affect your user stories? Yes. But look, you can't control that, right? You just have to understand that's going to have to happen, and we're going to have to come up with a plan to deal with that as we go forward. But at this point in time, you've done a pretty good job grabbing your user requirements. You're pretty much good to go. Okay, so here, from scoop to nuts, is effectively your requirements gathering process. Number one, you're going to capture your basic customer ideas. Okay, we talked about that. A customer will potentially hand this to you. Number two, blue sky brainstorming. This is where you take the customer's requirements, you sit down with the customer and you say, hey, great requirements. Now let's take a look at them, and let's think about them a little. Let's see if we can sort of stretch them and figure out, you said this, but I think it means these other things too. Do you agree? Number three, you're going to create user stories. And what do we know about user stories? They are long or short. Short. They're written in your language or their language. Theirs. Okay? And it contains or does not contain technical stuff. It does not contain technical stuff. That's exactly right. Are you going to have just a few user stories or a whole bunch? You're going to have a bunch. You're going to have a bunch. Right? But that's cool. That's actually good. You're going to gather customer feedback to fill in the holes. As you create the stories, you kind of go, what happens if you do this? And then when that happens, you go back and talk to the customer and say, hey, what happens when you do this? They tell you, you have another story, you drop it in, you fill it in your hole. And then finally, you'll have a set of clear, customer-focused user stories. When you have that as a software developer, you are now ready to start to do your design. You're in a very, very good place. And it does take time to get here. So you're like, hey, I know Python, I can just start coding. No, you can't. You better be coding the right stuff. And you won't know that you're coding the right stuff until you have the right requirements. Make sense?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what did we cover today? How to talk to your customer. We talked about blue sky. We talked about what actually makes a good requirement. We talked about user stories. Got it? It's a foggy day. Do we still have it?
Yes.
Okay. Next time, we're going to talk about how to make your customer happy. Is there anything better than that? I don't think so. All right. I'm going to give you a break. I'll give you a 15-minute break. So I'll give you until about 10 till. That sound like a fair deal? We'll come back, we'll talk about some Python.